Happy New Year. I found a Four Loko in my fridge from God knows when, right before I was about to start filming this. So that's drastically going to change the tone of this video. Hello, and as always, welcome. It's been a little while since you last saw me, which I'll address momentarily. But before we get to that, as we all know, a new year and a new decade is upon us, which I think is really cool. And it just seems like a good time to do kind of a end-of-year thrift finds roundup. So yeah, I'm just going to show off the stuff I managed to find the end of 2019 since the last time I did one of these. And yeah. But before we get to that, one of the 5 people who watch this channel might be wondering, where have I been for, a month or so? And the answer might shock you. And I've just been on vacation. I don't know, I just took a break from doing videos. I just wanted to enjoy December and kind of chill out. Because this isn't my day job. I have a day job on top of all the other responsibilities and things that take up my time. So I just figured I'd take a break for the rest of the year and come back after the new year. So that's it, nothing crazy. Yeah. So yeah, without much further ado, let's see what my last thrift finds of the 2010s brought in. Alright, first up, got a nice stack of racing games here I found at one of my Goodwills. Got Test Drive Unlimited, Le Mans 24 Hours, Burnout Dominator, which I'd actually never played this one. I'm not super familiar with it, but eager to try it out because I don't have my copy of Burnout 3 anymore. And this one, which I don't know, it doesn't really look like a good game. It might be, but something about the title got me. Ford Bold Move Street Racing. And then this, which I don't even know why I bought. I don't even remember when I got this, but these are all from the same place. This, I don't even know. I think I just saw it and was just kind of like, oh, why not? So yeah, got those. And then I actually managed to find a few 360 games, which these days I don't often find. I've got the Burger King game. After years of seeing these things in thrift stores, in the bargain bin of GameStop, just wherever, I figured I should finally pick one up. I actually want to get the others too. And one thing that's really interesting to me is that it actually works on the original Xbox, which, I don't know, I think that's cool. This is during that sort of transition era when the 360 was still new. Crackdown, which I've always heard is incredible, but I have never played. So, yeah. And Ace Combat 6. So, yeah, a couple of 360 games. Alright, so at the Goodwill closest to my house, I actually lucked out. I found all of these together, and they're all in great shape. And I've got the first 2 Resistance games, which I had not played. I've played the third one a little bit, really liked it. And these I kind of overlooked. But my girlfriend was like, these games, I love these. And I was like, really? All right, well, so I got them. Try them out eventually. This Ratchet & Clank game, which I don't know if it's any good. Portal 2 was actually the first game I ever played on the PS3. I got the PS3 really late in its cycle. The PS4 was already out by then, actually. But, yeah, got the system and borrowed a few games from my store. And this is one of them, and I finished it. And I loved it. Metal Gear Solid 4, which is the Metal Gear Solid I'm least familiar with. Always wanted to play it, but I just never got around to it. And never was super into the Borderlands games. I always kind of wanted to get into them, but I just never got around to it. And I found these 2. So, pretty cool. Nice little haul. Especially since it was a really dry couple of weeks when I found this. So, then a few months ago, I was out of town for work, and I finished up with my business out there, and while I was there, I decided to check out some thrift stores because I'd never really thrifted in that area. It's like 45 minutes from my house. But I went to this one place and found a crap ton of PS1 games and a few Dreamcast games. So yeah, let's check those out. Got Grand Theft Auto 2, Driver 2, which I actually had as a kid and was phenomenally disappointed with, and that's a whole story, and probably gonna be a video at some point. Gran Turismo, Gran Turismo 2, Need for Speed High Stakes, which I'd really been wanting actually. Test Drive 5, NASCAR Rumble, which I usually don't care about NASCAR games, but this one actually looks kind of bonkers. It looks very like arcadey and just over the top. So, try that out. Some generic looking 4x4 off-road game, whatever. A wrestling game. The Spec Ops game, which actually, I don't know if I got that at the same store. It doesn't have the sticker on it, but yeah. Knockout Kings, which fond memories with this game. NFL 2K, why not? I'm not super into sports games, but it's for a system that I don't find games for all the time, then I'll get it. And Test Drive Le Mans. So, pretty cool. And then, we've got this. Let me zoom here. Especially since the focusing distance on this lens is not very close. So yeah, this is Bleem for Dreamcast, or Blemcast. Yeah, so this is an interesting thing. Emulate PS1 games on the Dreamcast. But you gotta have like a special disc like for each game. And yeah, there's already a really great video on Bleem for the PC, which is, PS1 emulation for the PC. But yeah, they tried to do it for the Dreamcast, but each game required its own disc. So I've got this one for Gran Turismo 2, which funny enough I have over here. And I also had one for Metal Gear Solid, but I cannot find it in my house. Sometime in the last couple of months I misplaced it. It's around here somewhere, but that will most certainly be a video because it's too interesting not to mess with and document. But I gotta get a Dreamcast first, because surprisingly, I don't have one. So, yeah, I always wanted one, and I had plenty of opportunities to get one, but I don't know. So, yeah. Managed to find some PC games over the last few months. This first one is a much newer game than I would normally buy, but it just seemed really weird. East India Company. Yeah, we'll just zoom in on that. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems strange. I've never heard of it, and it was cheap, so I got it. And then we've got Dreamfall: The Longest Journey, which I had always wanted to play. I think I have this for the Xbox, but I can't really remember. Did it even come out on the Xbox? Am I full of shit? I don't know. But yeah, it's a cool adventure game that I've always been curious about. Tribe's Vengeance. Pretty neat. Have this on the 360 already, and this box is kind of beat up, but I found it and I couldn't say no. Prey. Love this game. Super awesome. I mean, this game just fucking rules. Medal of Honor Pacific Assault, which is not a game I care about, and I think really the only reason I bought it is because while it's not a big box, it's like a mini box, it is weirdly thick. Like, check it out next to Fear. It's just bigger. I don't know. I found it, I got it. And then Fear. I mean, this game is awesome. I haven't played it in forever. I played it at a friend's house on the PC, My PC at the time could not run it, but I can play it now, so very cool. And I mentioned before that I don't find big boxes too frequently in my thrift stores, but a few weeks ago, it happened. A sealed big, really big, it barely fits in the frame, copy of Myst. And yeah, I don't know, it's definitely a later release, but I don't know, I found it and I couldn't say no to it. I mean, it's sealed. It's a little crunched, but not too bad. So that's cool. And yeah. And the final PC game I have is just a jewel case of Jeopardy, but it's for Windows 3.1. And I wasn't even going to get this, but my girlfriend kind of insisted because she loves Jeopardy. A lot of our early memories of hanging out were actually of us watching Jeopardy and then me just like falling asleep. And yeah, so Jeopardy. All right, so in terms of hardware and doodads and whatever, I didn't really buy that much the last couple months, but I did find this monster. This is a LaserDisc player from Pioneer, a CLD 3090. It's in pretty good condition, and it works perfectly, and it's super awesome. And I paid $6 for it, so yeah. That was a really, really good find. I'd been kind of wanting to get into LaserDisc, but I don't know, if you look on eBay and see the prices of players, it's kind of like, I don't know. So yeah, that was really cool. And I did manage to find some movies with it. So in terms of movies, we have Eraser, starring the Governator. I don't really care about this movie, but it was with the system, or it was in the same store, and it was like the most appealing of the movies they had there, and I wanted to get something to see if the system even worked, which it does. So we got that, The Lost World Jurassic Park, and then we have Star Wars Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, really fucking cool find. Those last three, the Star Wars and the Jurassic Park, I found those very recently at a different Goodwill than the one where I found the other LaserDiscs and the player. So yeah, super fucking neat. Really excited to watch this. I actually haven't seen this movie in forever, either of these. I haven't seen the original Star Wars trilogy in so long. And yeah, I need to find the first one and watch them all on LaserDisc. And then next up is something I've already done my video on. If you watch my channel, you've seen this. This is my $4 original Xbox racing wheel from Goodwill. And if you saw that video, you know my impressions of it were not terribly positive. But yeah, that's a thing. So if you haven't seen that, feel free to go check it out. It's an experience, but it's still a cool find, and I'm glad to have it. You know, I kept it around. I did think about maybe just giving it back to Goodwill after I was done with that video, but that's stupid. So yeah. All right, last but certainly not least, and probably my favorite find of the entire season, if not maybe the year. But first off, if you saw my last one of these, you probably recognize this. Canon A1 program, given me by a very good friend. Had a 50mm 1.4 lens on it, which not attached right now. But yeah, great shape. Put a battery in it. It works. So yeah, I've got that. But a few months ago, I found this. Canon A1. The bigger brother to the A1 in like every conceivable way. It's just more bells and whistles, better build quality. This thing just feels like a monster. Like, I absolutely love this thing. And I am doing a video on it. That'll probably be my next thing. I'm actually taking it out of town in a couple days as I'm filming this. So yeah. But with it, I've also got this 24mm 2.8 lens, which is in excellent shape. And then this 70 to 210 f4 lens with macro mode, and the macro mode on this is actually really good. It's got like an extra click past here, but yeah, got all of that for a very good price. Yeah, it was 60 bucks in all, and it wasn't from a Goodwill or anything like that. It's this local kind of flea mall, junk store kind of thing. I don't know. They had some old cameras. They had some others that I'm kind of tempted to go back for. But yeah, I got all these. They're all in excellent shape, and 60 bucks for all these is actually not too bad. So yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, it's funny, like, I've always been really bad with like putting together a cohesive sort of, I don't know, kind of a system of like multiple lenses with useful focal lengths. Like, I don't know, I just get stuff impulsively, and most of my cameras, like, I've got several different camera systems, and most of them still just have the, you know, the 50mm prime lens that came with it. But now all of a sudden my FD system is actually the most like kind of comprehensive and like useful. So yeah, pretty sweet. I'm going to be exploring these soon, as well as this A1, and yeah, that's going to be my next thing. So yeah, very cool. All right, that about wraps this video up. That's all I've got for you today. It's been a good year. I launched my channel about 6 months ago, and at the time I had no idea what I was doing, and now here I am after 6 months and I still don't. But if I did anything in 2019 that you enjoyed, well, I'm really glad and hope to continue to do that in the future. I've got some cool ideas for videos, and I hope they come to fruition. And, you know, as microscopic as this still is, it's still doing so much better than I even thought. And the response has been so much better than I expected. But yeah, hope everyone has a great new year and a new decade. And, you know, as always, thank you very much for watching. And stay tuned for some sneak peeks at things I'm going to be working on in the future.